Hello and welcome to the Journal. I'm your host, Geordie Turnbull.
And I'm Karen Anderson.
So today's show, we've got a full show from bad driving to the epic battles of nerd versus nerd. And to top it all off, we go back in time to explore the Portuguese past. We're bringing you all of these and more, all of which is produced by our very own Centennial College students.
10 seconds to intro.
We also have a special guest tonight, hip-hop artist Hakeem Raphael, who will be performing his own original song for us tonight. So stick around here on the Journal. Welcome back to the Journal. For any newcomers, the Journal is a second year project for students in the Broadcasting and Film program at Centennial College. Each of us on the show produces 2 doc stories and works on the production of the live show. Students produce it all. So Geordie, tell us what we have in store for tonight.
Well, first off is a documentary, Safe Driving. This piece is for you reckless drivers out there who think you own the road, but you don't. That's right, you don't. Neither would you.
You know, driving really stresses me out. We drive every single day, multiple times a day, and some days it puts me in a bad mood. And I have a lot of things going on in life that this is the last thing that I need to be adding to the plate of things to be stressed about. Mainly because it requires us to focus on so many different things at once.
We've done several studies that have to do with risky driving, which is a radio task. You just look down, you tune the radio, you look back. And he compared that to the risky driving behavior of using a cell phone, and particularly dialing a cell phone. And what he found was that both are dangerous, just in different ways. With the radio task, you're more likely to get into a collision because your eyes aren't anywhere near the road in front of you. Whereas with a cell phone, most people would naturally put the cell phone in front of them on top of the steering wheel, so they'd still be able to see the field of view in front of them with their peripheral vision while they're dialing, but their swerving was much worse. The simulator is a real car surrounded by 300 degrees of screens, so it gives a very immersive driving environment. It's all run electronically. A lot of people ask about the car and if you could actually take it out on the road with all the instrumentation, but no, you can't. It is a drive safety simulator. We've used it primarily for student research, and that's where the student opportunities come in. A lot of honors students come in to do honors thesis, master's thesis, and we've also had a few PhD students as well. Interestingly, we do get a lot of people who ask, do I have to put a seatbelt on? And so we try to tell people, do what you would normally do in a car. And so that puts them in the mindset that, okay, this is actually driving. I have to put a seatbelt on. Even if there's no risk of getting into a real crash, it at least gives them that sort of tactile reinforcement that this is a real situation that they're in. In the study that I'm running right now, where we're looking at passenger effects on young drivers, we do see some drivers take their eyes completely off the road when they're talking to a passenger. So the passenger will ask them a question, and they'll say, oh yeah, and completely gone from the driving environment. And you see that kind of thing on the road too. Busy in an animated discussion, very aware of what other people are doing. I no longer just look at the vehicles around me, but I also try to take a glance at the driver to see what they're up to, especially when I'm on a busy highway with a lot of traffic. I want to know who is focusing on the driving task and who is not. I mean, a lot of times you can tell just by the way someone's swerving around, or they have big changes in speed. They'll go fast and then slow, and you'll pass them multiple times even though nobody's changed lanes. I'm also very aware of safe headway. I'm always counting out 2 seconds in my head while I'm driving if I'm behind somebody else. One very real thing, there's a relatively new initiative come out that looks at the proper use of head restraints, because a lot of people call it a head rest, which isn't technically the correct term for it. You're not resting your head on that while you're driving. Usually your head has a bit of space between the back of your head and the headrest. And one thing that I hadn't realized, despite having done driving research for about 5 or 6 years at that point, was that there is a proper height for those headrests to be. The top of the headrest should line up with the top of your head. And the question that the researcher asked was, when you get into a new car that you've just purchased or that you're test driving, what's the first thing that you do? And everybody says, well, I buckle up. And they said, well, the first thing you should do is measure the headrest, because if you get in an accident and it's too low, then your head bends way back and you wind up getting whiplash. Or if it's too high, that's no good either. So there are a lot of aspects of driving that even driving researchers may not be completely aware of. So that's why it's nice to go to these conferences and see what everybody else.
So Karen, what are you doing after the show?
Anything you want, baby.
What? Really?
In your dreams.
That's not cool, Karen. You shouldn't be playing with other people's hearts.
Speaking of hearts, have you ever loved a geek because they need loving too?
Ha! They can just go make out with their figurines. Huh, nerds!
I think nerds are cute.
Well, anyways, the next video about 2 hardcore gamers, not video gamers, but cutthroat tabletop gamers. We are going to see an epic battle built off of blood, sweat, and tears of warriors. 2 men go in, only one comes out, then later on the other one comes out. But keep in mind, we've got a Keem coming up too, so stay tuned.
Tabletop gaming has changed a lot over the past 30 years. It isn't just Monopoly on a rainy day or those socially awkward kids playing Dungeons & Dragons in the basement. It's a thriving community with gamers of all ages sharing in the games that they love.
The tabletop community is it's a fun group of guys, and it's also in general very divided. I mean, there's on one end the hard end there's the Warhammer, and on the other hard end there's the WizKids guys, and then in between there's other tabletop games or board games and such. But if I was to describe there's definitely animosity at the opposite ends of each other, but each end is friendly with itself and very friendly in person for sure.
Last week I let a guy roll the breakaway with a character that ignores characters for movement 3 times. I was like, dude, stop, okay? I can't watch these anymore. You ignore characters!
A huge thing that's taking over, even in the electronic age, there's still never been a higher demand for tabletop games, you know, for the physical aspect of it. No matter how much, you know, you can get the electronic substitution for, right? Because, you know, there's even every game, you know, one of the most popular collectible card games, Magic, there is a Magic game on every console today, okay, which sells great, but nothing will ever beat people coming in and still buying a deck of cards and playing.
Tabletop gaming today is made up of 4 main pillars: card games, board games, role-playing games, and miniatures games. Miniatures games are many and varied, but there's one thing they all have in common: miniature figures representing heroic characters or vast armies, duking it out on a tabletop battlefield by way of numbered stats interacting with dice rolls. HeroClix, a superhero miniatures game, will be our primary focus.
I ended up finding out that WizKids had won a licensing war for HeroClix. being superhero tabletop game. As a result, I was like, I like comics, I like tabletop games, let's try this game. So this would have been this, I found out about the game a week after Infinity Challenge hit the tables. So WizKid, or HeroClix being almost, I think this is year 13 of the game right now. I've been there for all of them with a couple spaces in between for time I couldn't get out, anything like that. And yeah, what really attracted me is, you know, cards got annoying. They're paper. You don't really get a feel for it. This, you get a feel for the game, and the competitive element is really just for figures because it's not for money. You don't take it as seriously. I mean, that was my excitement level for it.
Aubrey versus Cecil, Kyle versus Ryan, Patrick versus Marissa.
Who am I playing?
Ryan, are you
Damn it, I didn't want to play. Okay.
WizKids, the company responsible for HeroClix, operates tournaments at the local level almost every week, at comic book stores and hobby stores, and at regional and national levels at conventions, with the World Championships taking place at Gen Con in Indiana.
You know, they play locally, and then they win big. They can always have the chance to go to Gen Con and San Diego Comic Con, the big Comic Cons, and there's always a tournament happening down there where you'll see, we go down there and we check it out, and you'll see like 80 to 180 people playing at a time.
1,493 points. JC Lee, who is the winner?
If you come down to the local Toronto Comic Con, you know what I mean? I went from, you know, having small, you know, maybe 10 people showed up to just last year at the Fan Expo 2013, we had about, Saturday was a great day, we had about 60 to 80 people.
I come from a long line of competitive collectible games. I used to play Magic, made a couple Pro Circuit tournaments. I played Versus in the Pro Circuit. Well, never made the Pro Circuit in Versus, but I got close a couple times. And in general, when you get into competitive games, it gets pretty gross. People, you know, take the maximum output for the minimum input, and that's you're just gonna find that. I have no personal problem with it. The figures are there to play, but as a player, you kind of got to find a way to balance casual and competitive. If you're not getting your casual games in and you're experiencing only competitive, you're not getting the fullest of the game. And that I'm finding in the WizKids especially, too many people only go to competitive tournaments and end up only experiencing competitive games, and they get angry about it when they're not winning or only finding other competitive teams. And if they don't get that casual element, it really hurts your experience with the game.
Wins are the most important.
Wins are the most important.
Then points.
No, cheese is the most important.
Always got to bring the fromage. A little bit of brie on top of the fromage, a little cheddar, Swiss if you will. That's why they call them Swiss tournaments.
I didn't know Professor X is French.
Absolutely. Almost like Batroc, the Leaper.
Hey Geordie, where'd you go?
Hey! I just picked up this new figurine. Ruby's her name.
Not creepy at all.
I thought you liked geeks.
Yeah, geeks, not freaks.
Oh, I gotcha.
I like a man who's smart and knows a thing or two about life. Not unlike a man in our next piece, who gives us, but a glimpse, into the long and proud history of Portuguese people.
Ora, eu comecei a fazer coleção à volta de 27 anos atrás. O museu foi difícil começar, sim, teve muito tempo metido em caixas, armazenadas dentro de pessoas amigas que têm espaço, certos e determinados exposições e livros. Então o que é que eu fiz? Lembrei-me que criar um museu dentro da comunidade para auxiliar as escolas e as crianças, quando precisassem de alguma coisa, virem ao museu ter mais aptidão para os estudos que estavam a tirar dentro do próprio português, e assim tinham mais conhecimento, tendo um sítio que pudesse auxiliar todos, as escolas, as crianças e os professores, a lembrar-se da nossa história, porque tinham dificuldade em obter documentação.
When I was small, right through even to today, every time our family gets together, he's always talking about Portuguese events. He's showing us pictures, new ideas on keeping everyone close to the ideal Portugal that he remembers when he was young.
A paixão que eu tenho a mostrar entre a história canadiana e a história portuguesa, há aqui uma coisa que é muito importante e eu tenho aprendido alguma coisa sobre isso. Primeiro, eu gostava muito de história portuguesa. Esse é um ponto principal. Que nós temos muitas maravilhas e que a nova geração não conhece. This is the story from Caravella, the first boat that came to Canada. Ok? Nobody tell him. A Caravella foi o primeiro barco europeu a vir aqui e ele foi 20 anos antes de Colombo ter vindo ao Canadá. Isso é uma história muito bonita, é uma história que no futuro gostava que a nova geração se apercebesse desta história e somos nós que estamos aqui como imigrantes. Nós fizemos agora 60 anos, nós não fazemos 60 anos, nós temos 500 anos de vir aqui assim. Isso é muito importante, que se transmita à nova geração o que foram os portugueses há uns anos grandes atrás. E é aí que eu me adaptei e que criei um amor ao museu, desenvolver essa parte histórica que está em livros, que está em várias partes, a identificação e o ano e o nome da pessoa.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it half as much as we did.
Come back next week. We got 3 more shows left. And trust me, you don't want to miss a thing. And now, end of the show, we have Hakeem performing an original rap song. Please join us on stage.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on stage and to be able to, perform the song. The song's called Begin Again, but I'm going to need you guys' assistance, So the song goes a little something like this. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? And I need you guys to say, yes, you can. And then I say, okay, let's begin. All right, let's try that out, all right? I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. Yo, check it. I'm running in the streets, but I won't be street fighting. This is something you can keep, but what's seeking when you're finding words on lines? Now that's outlining. Words in time? Now that's refining. Words in me, just like the sun I'm shining, but my timing is the timing that I'm putting in this rhyming, and it's really just defining who I am as I'm climbing, understanding what the makings of the pictures that I'm painting within. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. I write right up just like a whiteout, believing what I thought out. My mind can use a timeout, but these stories need their time out. You can see my new route, what I'm truly about. Education, destinations as community shouts. There's never jobs for our youth, so they become the dropouts. Government says there's jobs, well, where's the map out? You see the dreams hard, but they're never far out. It takes faith, lots of love to live your dreams out. It takes time, lots of patience for your dreams to bud out. Only the strong will survive, cause opportunities spread out. You can see my truth out, just like a baby's tooth out. I wanna call the youth out, to share your love as you sprout. Because this world needs love more than the hate that comes out. Because this world has needs, but only if you speak out. Cause you can swear with your mouth and clean your lines, you will shout. Cause one day you'll live your dreams and you will write your life out. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. I write my life to you so you can see that reality is actually beyond what you see. It took a whole lot of faith and some loving MCs to pick me off of the ground cause I was on my knees. As I listened to high tech and twilight quality, the prisoner of consciousness was truly set free. And comment how dreamers like me to truly believe. And Lauren Helmut's education had to educate me. As Shaq came on top to be a great MC, he taught me a little something about the sound of love in me. But at the end of the day, I give God the glory cause he spoke to every artist just to speak to me. And yes, it takes hard work to get a cut of the cheese, but hard work pays off, just persevere and believe. My dream to be an MC started at 13, then it truly begins again when the vision is me. I write my life out, I write my life within. I write my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? Okay, let's begin. I brought my life out, I brought my life within. I brought my life to you, let me begin again. Yeah, can I begin again? The story never ends. All right, thank you so much for having me on the show. You know, do it again sometime.